this is our subcategories tool.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing some nerdy stuff looking at there's actually a node ID, but I'm paying attention just to the first few columns here. So these are the main categories of Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
We have home and kitchen, health and household, clothing, books, electronics, beauty, personal care, and the estimate monthly revenue inside of that. And this is in the billions per month. Pretty impressive. We're looking at the US market. We do have this tool working in about 10 different markets right now. All these ones down
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mm-hmm.
And every market actually has their category structure slightly different, but I'm most comfortable with the US market. It's the one that we've looked at the most. So then as I click this arrow, that's kind of where, to me, this tool kind of comes alive as we get to jump into kitchen and dining. Shoot, we can keep clicking through storage and organization, food storage. I don't know where we're going to end up. Food jars and canisters, $6 million a month. So still a pretty sizable category, as you see. And it kind of gives you this feeling that Amazon is it's not like one marketplace. It's a collection of tens of thousands of small marketplaces.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's happening in this food jars and canisters, it's its own thing. And we do have additional data regarding this specific category. We see that this is very dominated by sellers as opposed to 1P. Doesn't seem to be growing too much. In fact, year over year, we're seeing a slight decline, and average volume actually 0.34 cubic feet. That's not small, because I think these are containers, and sometimes people sell
Mm-hmm.
like a dozen at a time. And so you could browse at will, every single category under the sun, but you can jump in. And let's do that for the first time, where this little hourglass right here, if I click on it, it basically says, let's jump in. Let's look at the brands inside of this category. Here we have, I don't recognize any of these brands, Comsaf, Netney, Planetary Design, and we see their estimate revenue and their market share. Also, we're showing what's the 30-day change. Are they growing? Are they shrinking? Looks like most of these are growing. I bet you there's a few losers down here. That's where these percentages are coming from. So yeah, actually, this one's very interesting. Netney, they only have 4 ASINs, and they're second in market share. Then you could jump into the products of this category. So interesting. I'm guessing there's a variety of containers. There's not just one type of container. So, you can click through, jump and actually see the product. Maybe I should have picked a category that I know more about. I don't know anything about this, but this gives you an idea. This is ordered by monthly revenue and the launch date. We have plenty columns of data. You kind of get lost in that. We have the buy box price, and this looks like an inexpensive product at $11 versus some of these more expensive products at $30. Okay, yeah, these are larger 1-gallon glass jars. So, already we have so much data about this subcategory, and there's 40,000 categories. So that's the subcategories tool at its core. If you're launching a product, this can really help you, give you some of that initial validation. Like, is there enough revenue here to be shared? Is there room for another entrant? There are some subcategories that only do $50,000, $100,000 a month. Probably not something super exciting. And then there's super large subcategories that might even do 100 million a month. And those can be very hard on their own, and everything in between. So it kind of lets you just browse. I think there's a lot of product finders out there. Those seem very you don't know what you're going to get. If you just type in a few filters, you're like, I don't know where I'm going to land. Here we're in the health and household, and we see, okay, if you have cups, disposable cups, that's $35 million a month. Disposable drinking straws, 4 million. So this organization reflects how Amazon is organized, and kind of makes you feel like product research, you're choosing the direction you go.
Yeah, pretty cool, man. So a seller jumps here, either if it's a reseller or a private label, and starts browsing categories, goes in depth into subcategories. We see the revenue, we see if it's Amazon dominated or not, which in private label, I mean, it depends, but it's not as good to see a lot of, let's say, from my experience, Amazon just usually for some reason ranks at the top. And
Yeah.
yeah, and they do get a lot of the sales. So for example, we can see that in the Amazon revenue share, and we can see 12-month growth. So basically we can jump into subcategories, travel here, yeah, find things we never thought of. So, and then we have all the numbers in front of us, so that can help us with our research, and that's pretty interesting.
Absolutely. We see these baby bottles and warmers and sterilizers, like how much they're trending
Yeah.
up over the last 12 months. So sterilizing and warming bottles is on the rise. Um,
Right.
because it's easier to be part of a growing market. That's generally what I always think. So there's plenty of ways to like look at this. We kind of put all the categories here at once right here. If you want to look at a specific category, let's say we only want to look at growing categories. This is our niche finder. It's kind of like we have a lot of these tabs, and this
Mm-hmm.
niche finder is just a different way to look at it. Let's look. Yeah, you just like throw like filters, like, okay, we want categories with like
Mm.
at most 10% Amazon. We want small packages. If we want, a revenue range of let's say 2 million. So we want to do at least 2 million. Okay, there's
Mm-hmm.
460 categories that fit what we just talked, like the filters that we threw in. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's probably a good summary of the subcategories tool. And one of the great ways to kind of start out.